Kuzangpo, welcome to the weekly news magazine program Bhutan This Week. I'm Himalayan. In the headlines, the cabinet temporarily suspends the construction of Dagapilla-Dalbari highway following a review report from the Anti-Corruption Commission on misprocurement in the tendering process. A lone surgical oncologist in the country will resign soon, leaving the hospital and cancer patients concerned, especially with the rising number of cancer cases. And for the first time in the history of football, Bhutan's national team will be taking part in the World Cup qualifying match. The Venerable Drabilebe of the Shung Drasang performed ritual ceremony for the erection of the main door and the windows of the Kyunra of the ongoing reconstruction works of the Wangdepodrang Zong. The Zong was completely damaged by a major fire disaster in June 2012. The Venerable Drabilebe performed the ritual ceremony for the erection of the door and the windows of the Kyunre of the Zong. Before the entire structure of the Kyunre is being built, the door and the windows are necessary to be erected first.
This is the achievement for the people of Bhutan to have the new door and windows for the Zong.
The project manager of the Zong reconstruction, however, shared that severe wind is impeding the reconstruction works. Nevertheless, 25% of the work has been complete and the entire Zong construction is expected to be complete by 2018. As for the construction of the Utse, almost all the materials have been arranged and the construction will begin soon. Compiled for Kinzang Tinle in Wangdepodrang, Pemalhaden, BBS News. To allow the conversation on regional collaboration and cooperation to move forward with a focus between energy, water and food security, the Himalayan Third Pole Circle meeting was held in the capital on Thursday. The two-day meeting is being held in the country for the first time.
The opening ceremony of the meeting was graced by Her Royal Highness Princess Techinyangz Wangchu and Princess Kezang Choden Wangchu. In the face of large-scale degradation, food, water and energy security in the Himalayan region was found to be limited. The President of Iceland, who initiated the Himalayan Third Pole Circle, said his journey to Bhutan and commitment to the Himalayan Third Pole process are inspired by the belief that coming together can help in learning from each other. He said there is mounting evidence of how the retreating glaciers will impact the rivers and water systems in the Himalayan countries, directing attention to dramatic consequences for food and energy production, security and international relations.
We need to take care of planet Earth. This process in preparation to this meeting has been going on for 2 or 3 years with various smaller meetings in different parts of the world. But the launching of the Himalayan Third Pole Circle in Bhutan is a signal to the rest of the world that now we are coming together.
The President said there is need for sharing data and research across national boundaries. For that, he said it was important to have meaningful understanding, informing policies and actions. ICIMOD is also participating in the meeting by providing its institutional strength and advanced knowledge. The Director General of ICIMOD said Bhutan will face similar challenges to that of the other Himalayan regions.
All of the countries have a very fragile environment prone to disasters. All of the countries have a special relation with downstream people for the water, the food security, and the energy supplies. And our challenge is to keep mountain people with good livelihoods, keep the mountain environment healthy.
The Himalayan Third Pole Circle also aims to initiate and sustain regional and international dialogue and collaboration on the challenges that climate change presents to the Himalayan regions. During the meeting, Lenchen Tsringtobge said that climate change is a huge challenge. Lenchen urged for the need to work together to save the Himalayan region and the people.
I urge our delegates here to think and act as one, to think globally and act locally, to force your individual governments to do their individual parts to save their individual ecosystems.
At the end of the meeting, it is expected to lead to the formulation of an informal roadmap. The roadmap would outline further progress, advancing permanent structures of cooperation amongst the Himalayan Third Pole nations and communities. Specific challenges and concerns would be also analyzed by the experts. The meeting is organized by the National Environment Commission in collaboration with ICIMOT. Chetan Dupchu, PBS News.
Coinciding with the World Cancer Day on Wednesday, Her Royal Highness Aji Kejang Wangchuk officially launched the Bhutan Cancer Society at the National Memorial, Chultan. It is a non-governmental organization with a purpose to promote cancer care and prevention through education, advocacy and research. Apart from these functions, the Bhutan Cancer Society is working to improve access to provide spiritual, psychological and financial support to people living with cancer. Her Royal Highness also offered butter lamps at the Memorial Chultan for the people who died of various cancerous diseases in the country: stomach cancer, oral, throat and neck cancer, cervical cancer and thyroid cancer are the most prevalent cancer in the country. Local leaders and the people of Dagana are confused with a sudden halt on the construction of Dagapela to Dalbari highway. Works to construct the 80.5-kilometer road began in September last year, and people were eagerly anticipating for the road to complete, as the road was the lifeline for the people of Dagana. But to their disappointment, construction works were suddenly kept on hold for about 2 weeks now, without the knowledge of the local leaders and the villagers.
This is the progress of the construction of the Dagapela to Dalbari highway. For the last few months, this place was packed with busy laborers and loud machineries. But today it wears this deserted look. Machines are now lying idle and no laborers are at sight. This is exactly what the local leaders and the villagers also saw. When the Gubs later learned that the works were halted since the 20th of this month, they expressed concerns and wanted to know why the works were suddenly discontinued.
On 29th September last year, the construction began and everything went smoothly so far. But on 20th January this year, we saw the machines lying idly on the roadside, and we the local leaders were not even informed. If it is kept like this for long, the people of Daga Lungsum will have big problem. The government should let us know why it has been stopped, as the people are already questioning us and we have nothing to tell them.
With monsoon season approaching, people are worried that if the section between Dagapela and Geseling is not complete on time, it would cause a host of problems, from flash floods and landslides to transportation inconveniences for schoolgoers. The problems, local leaders said, would be many.
We have problem as we have irrigation channel along the roadside and it was damaged during the road widening. So people are worried as they won't be able to carry out paddy cultivation if it's not maintained on time. In the past, we had proper road, but now it's all filled with mud and it will be chaotic during the rainy season. And if the drainage is not cleared properly, we do have people staying just below the highway and they will face problems too. So I request the government if they could let the work resume soon and solve our problem. We will be very grateful.
We heard that Dagapela-Hamuzinga highway will come someday and it has arrived. Work started accordingly, but it stopped in the middle. So we the people and businessmen will have problem. If the vehicles are not able to pass through, we will have difficulty in taking our sick people to the hospital.
The project manager too is confused and does not know why the works were asked to kept on hold. He said looking at the progress of works, they were positive that the road would be complete ahead of the scheduled time. But now it will be a different story. Kampal for Kincho Siring in Dagana, Dikichorin Doji, BBS News.
Of the 3 packages distributed to 3 contractors for the construction of the Dagapela-Dalbari road. 2 of the packages are on hold, while the other contractor is still continuing the construction works. BBS learned that the 2 packages whose works are on hold have been declared as misprocurement after the Anti-Corruption Commission reviewed the tendering of the works. The issue came to the limelight after some unsuccessful bidders complained to the Commission. The report, which then went to the Cabinet, was deliberated and hence directed for the hold in the works. The Lhengeshungso has been fully convinced of the administrative and procedural lapses and has decided to revoke, terminate and retender the 2 packages of the projects as per the ACC's recommendations. The estimated project cost is 1.42 billion. In connection with the Lhakang Karpo case, the Ha Zongkhak on Monday suspended its budget officer and the Zongkhak engineer following a letter from the Anti-Corruption Commission. The 2 were serving as the project engineer and project manager during the construction of the Lhakang. Both were alleged for involvement in corruption during the Lhakang construction. Last month, the former Ha Zongda, currently serving as the foreign minister, was granted authorized absence for his alleged involvement in the case. He was charged with alleged corruption for abuse of functions. The first court hearing of the Lhakang Karpo construction case will begin on the 9th of this month at Ha District Court. The Office of Attorney General registered the case with the Ha District Court on 23rd January. After 2 years of investigation, the case was forwarded to the Office of Attorney General by the Anti-Corruption Commission in August last year. The case involves a total of 7 individuals, including the foreign minister. The results for the Class 12 examination were declared this afternoon. In Science and Commerce stream, Ugen Academy from Punakha Zongkhak topped the examination, and in Arts stream, Mutithang Higher Secondary School topped the examination.
Jambekile from Ugen Academy topped the science stream with 91%. Jimmy Wamo came second and Pema Selden came third.
I was the class 10 Bhutan top also, so people were expecting from me and I thought I have to fulfill the expectations and also my own. So working hard, I did whatever I could because our school motto is it's just do your best.
In Commerce stream, Kinga Pelden, also from Ugen Academy, topped with 89.50%. Chuhi Kim came second and Telepenjo came third.
Ugen Academy always supported me in many ways. It gave me a platform to open myself and to prepare myself for the exams so well. That's why I managed to become the topper.
In arts, Sonam Thomo from Mutithang Higher Secondary School came first with 89%. Vikas Rai and Doji Yangzom came second and Lekitsering came third.
To get this kind of result, I think you have to study consistently and work hard all year round, and hard work is the key to success.
The overall pass percentage was 89.38%, which was an increase of 2.77% compared to the 2013 pass percentage of 86.61%. More than 10,200 students from 50 high secondary schools had appeared the examination. The result is considered one of the best since 2006. Meanwhile, Thewon Gelson topped the Language and Culture Studies Certificate Examination 2014. Jimmy Wangchu came second and Dawa came third. Candidates can access their results from the Big C website and also through SMS. Candidates will be able to collect their mark sheets and pass certificates from their respective schools by the second week of March this year. Chetan Dupchu, PBS News.
A lone surgical oncologist in the country will resign soon. This has made the management of the National Referral Hospital apprehensive, especially with the rising cases of cancer over the years. They are worried that the chemotherapy unit might come to a standstill without a surgeon attending to cancer patients. The surgical oncologist's duty here is to do surgeries of patients with stomach cancer and gastritis and ulcer complications. Apart from this, the surgical oncologist makes prescriptions for chemotherapy for all cancer patients. Without prescriptions, clinical nurses cannot go ahead and treat patients. So considering these issues, clinical nurses admitted that it would be a problem to handle patients without a surgical oncologist.
We cannot prescribe prescription and we cannot do anything. 100 we cannot apply any of our implementations.
Chemotherapy entails long duration of treatment and requires a surgeon's monitoring if any complications arise. The medical superintendent of the National Referral Hospital said the management of the hospital has explored all possible solutions.
To hire somebody from outside the country on contract basis, and considering the shortage of such doctors even in other countries, I do not know whether we would get a replacement for him. The other is we have to discuss with Ministry of Health and then probably identify one doctor to go for this particular field of surgery. And in the meantime, our only option is to refer such patients to outside the country for treatment.
From November 2011 till last year, over 440 cancer patients, both the newly diagnosed as well as the old patients requiring repeated chemotherapy, have been admitted at the chemotherapy unit. On an average, 2 to 3 new cases of cancer are being diagnosed every month at the hospital. The common cancer diseases are stomach cancer, throat and neck cancer, cervical cancer and thyroid cancer. However, doctors say most cancers are preventable and if diagnosed early, curable too. But people visit hospital only after severe signs and symptoms of cancer are shown, which delays diagnosis. Furthermore, the National Referral Hospital does not have mass screening of people for early detection using endoscopy at the present.
In terms of gastric cancer, we do not have a way of screening people to see if they are in the early stage of cancer, because that would entail mass screening of people using endoscopy. And and you would require so many doctors trained to do endoscopy, and government at the present does not have both human resource as well as the financial resource to go into such things.
Therefore, the hospital's most suitable option for early diagnosis of cancer is to recommend people to do medical checkups occasionally and carry out health promotion on healthy eating habits. Pemal Hadan, PBS News. Villagers of Orung Geok in Samdup Zonkar are enjoying the services of an ambulance at the Orung BHU.
Since the ambulance arrived at the Orung BHU a month ago, health officials have been able to save the lives of 4 critical patients by referring them on time to hospitals in Samdup Zonkar and Deothang.
After receiving the ambulance, we have catered the critical or catered the services to the needy patients. For instance, recently we have referred 2 critical patients to the district hospital, one in Deothang and Samdup Zonkar. And moreover, we have also brought the patients from the nearby areas and villages to this BHU, and we have treated well.
87-year-old Kinzang is the first patient to be referred in Deothang Hospital by the ambulance. She said the ambulance in the Gewak has really benefited the villagers.
I was sick and I stayed at Deothang Hospital for 6 days. I was taken to Deothang in the ambulance. I'm happy that I'm well today.
Another patient who had complications during childbirth was immediately sent to Deothang.
If there wasn't an ambulance here, we have to look for other vehicles. But with the ambulance, it has helped me a lot.
By getting the ambulance here, it has benefited us in many ways, as we do not have to look for other vehicles during emergency cases.
Every day, 20 to 30 patients visit the Orong BHU. Compiled for Kinle Wangchuk, Nirup Gelson for BBS News.
Public libraries in Thimphu are seeing an increasing number of readers over the years. This, however, was not the scene until a few years ago. The Jigme Doji Wangchuk Public Library, for example, is seeing as many as 70 readers a day compared to 15 in the past. Educational researchers say the benefit of reading starts with the first book a baby hears and continue into childhood and throughout the child's life.
Located in the heart of Thimphu, Jigme Doji Wangchuk Public Library is a buzz with children reading, while some older children can be seen reading out books to the younger crowd.
It helps me to improve my reading habit, and on top of that, it also helps me to improve my spellings and English talking. I would like to continue it in the future.
It was until 2006 when parents and children believed that the culture of reading amongst Bhutanese youth was almost non-existent. But this concept is, however, changing over the years, with more and more children now showing interest in reading. The Jigme Doji Wangchuk Public Library did not see more than 15 visitors a day until 2006, but today it accommodates as many as 70 readers a day. The scene is not different in other public libraries. A librarian at the Youth Harmony Village likes to think that new update of books every year in the public libraries could be encouraging more readers.
To observe National Reading Year, we have started reading class during weekends. We have book club, so we are going to make more active with the help of youth volunteers. So we are planning to do again reading session and storytelling. It's a monthly basis. So we want to invite senior citizens or adults to read to our children. And also we have arranged a small reading corner, especially for children. It's a children's reading corner.
The Youth Harmony Village saw 3,000 readers visit the library last year compared to just 2,000 in 2013. To further encourage Bhutanese youth to develop reading habits, the government is observing this year as the National Reading Year. Although today's scenario truly undermines the belief of reading as a dying habit in Bhutan, some librarians fear that the figures may take a downturn, especially with books available online. And educationists suggest reading hard copy books as more authentic than online materials. Compiled for Tsiring Deka, Dikichorin Doji, BBS News.
We would manage by fetching water from the neighbors for a day or two. But what would it be like if we were to face drinking water shortage for 12 years? Well, this is exactly what the people of Gumkhamo in Punakha have been living with.
This is Gumkhamo village under Limukhagewok in Punakha. Fetching water from the old water source is a daily schedule for the villagers here. And this is not easy. With about 47 households relying on water from this source, they end up waiting in long queues before their turn comes.
Yes, yes, yes.
64-year-old Amdao tells BBS how dramatic it gets at times to fetch water. People end in brawls and quarrels sometimes.
We fetch water turn by turn and we give preference to those who need water for cooking.
When we perform the annual rituals at home, we fetch water from the riverside, as water from the old source is not enough. Because of the shortage of water, it is difficult to raise cattle and other domestic animals.
We have
to share water from the old source, which is not enough for us. I go to the riverside to wash the clothes.
Following requests from the villagers to look into the matter, the Dzongkhag administration and the Gewok executed a new scheme from Shengana village. With about 5 million nutrient from the government, the project picked up since 2011, but without progress.
I remember we received water just twice from new water scheme. Now water pipes are exposed and cracked. I would like to say that new scheme has not benefited us at all.
The new scheme isn't benefiting anyone, and the old water source on which villagers have been relying for years is also, according to villagers, shrinking by the year. Compiled for Chunidama in Punakha, Dikichorin Toji, PBS News.
According to the Department of Forest and Park Services, there were 64 forest fire incidents from 2013 to 2014. This is the highest recorded incidence of forest fire recorded in the last 5 years. It has also caused the highest damage to the forest, burning more than 45,000 acres of forest. But what was more alarming to know was the fact that most causes of forest fire are unknown.
Even though the causes of forest fire between 2013 and 2014 could not be confirmed and known officially, it was people who caused most of the forest fires. The department believes most of the forest fire has been caused due to children playing with fire. The department says apprehending the culprits have turned out to be a mammoth task. Most cases of forest fire between 2013 and 2014 have been closed for now. The department says it will reopen if there is anyone who knows about the culprits who has caused the fire.
The department have to take more initiative to recruit more volunteers. So the volunteers, the volunteers should be from all walk of life. So when the volunteers are around everywhere, there are chances that they could actually see the culprit, or they could actually apprehend the culprit by volunteers. That would actually help us. Foresters could actually do the regular patrolling. Then there are chances that we could actually apprehend the culprit.
Tenzin Dorji also said there is need for effective firefighting equipment. The department plans to create awareness campaign to implement effective fire prevention programs. Meanwhile, between 2013 and 2014, most forest fires incidents had occurred in the month of April last year. Wangdi Photron Dzongkhag saw most number of forest fire incidents with 16 cases. More than 22,900 acres of forest were burnt in the Dzongkhag within that period. But Dagana, Punakha, Pemagasal and Tsirang were the only Dzongkhags where there have been no incidents of forest fire between 2013 and 2014. Chetin Dupchu, PBS News.
For the first time in the history of football, Bhutan's national team is participating in the World Cup qualifying match, which is scheduled sometime next month. The squad is undergoing intensive training at the Changjiji football ground for the last few days.
These are the players undergoing intensive training at the Changjiji football ground. They will be trained 5 days a week, twice every day for the qualifying match. Most players were selected from football clubs in the capital, considering the technical, tactical, physical and mental skills. The Bhutan Football Federation said the players are doing the best for the match, although there is less time.
It's true, we have a time constraint little bit. Only recently we got the letter, and we were in the field in Gilifo selecting the under 13, 15 and 18 national team and the women team and the coaches workshop. We were having a lot of program there. So when the letter just came here, we have to push up to hurry up as we saw a little bit of time constraint and that. But yes, we have is a little bit time constant, but we try to put our ability to the best.
Play behind. The team, mostly in below 30, Chokinima said, has a scope in the future.
Keeping into the consideration all the age and the tactical things, I think we will try to put the best, but I can't say whether we can perform well or not. But we have a young players coming up, patching up to the national team, so we have a good scope in the future, obviously.
A fixture will be drawn on the 10th of March, only after which the team will know their opponent. But the team will first play away match on the 12th of March and the home match on the 17th. As of now, Bhutan is placed at 209 in the FIFA ranking. Karman Singh for BVS News.
Well, that is all we have for Bhutan this week. Thank you for watching.